So, how's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick. Today, I just want to make a quick video. I have a previous video kind of going on about what to do after you get your VF tuner in the mail and also your unlocked ECU back in the mail from VF tuner. So this video, I'm just covering a little bit more on the software side. I'm gonna go over what you need to do to get VF tuner running on the device itself. So getting the actual device registered with VF tuner, as well as the information that you need to send to them to ensure that your ECU is either unlockable. So either you might need to send it in to them to get unlocked, or it might already be something that they have experience with, and then they can just send you whatever file that they need to send you to now unlock your ECU. So in my case, they didn't have a file for my calibration ID for my ECU, so I specifically had to physically mail them my ECU so that they can unlock it, and then they sent it back to me. So this is the VF Tuner homepage. Not too much stuff going on over here. It's pretty nice to navigate. Pretty bare bones. You get what you need like right away. It's on sale, but normal retail, the WiFlash kit $400, and then the software upgrade is $500. So you have your kit in the mail, right? You want to verify before it comes in the mail, right? Verify with VF tuner. Is your ECU even tunable? So a couple of things. If you have a nice scan tool, like one of the more advanced, or a good scan tool that can read data, plug it into the car, and you should be able to get your calibration ID from the scan tool. So in my specific case, what did we use? We used a launch scan tool, model X-431. It gave us everything we needed. For that specific scan tool, the calibration ID was found under the OBD2 mode. So instead of going to the more advanced stuff where you can turn on and off solenoids and test things, go to the OBD2 side, mode 9, and then vehicle information. And that's where you should see the calibration ID as well as the VIN. You're going to need to compose an email to VF Tuner, preferably before you buy your WiFlash kit. Send them the information. Let them know what kind of car you have, right? Year, make, model. Now you have the calibration ID. Send them that. Send them the VIN, and ask them if your ECU is tunable, right? With that calibration ID, they'll be able to say, hey, yeah, we've worked with this kind of ECU before. We do have a file that does enable tuning. Or they might just tell you, we have worked on it before, as in my case, please send it in. For right now, as I'm making this video, early November 2025, it was a completely free service. The only thing that I had to pay for was the shipping there and back. And I prepaid the shipping labels. I bought them myself on pirateship.com, and they're pretty cheap, affordable. I made sure I insured the packages because you're sending off your ECU. Retail on these Lexus RCF ECUs are around like $1,200, $1,400. So I insured it exactly for that amount. Made it there and back, no problem. So yeah, after you've deemed either they have a file for you that they can send you and then you can start tuning, or you need to send your ECU to them. After that has been determined, your ECU is now confirmed unlock, right? Now you've plugged it back in into the ECU box. You've installed it back. You've connected the battery back up again. The car gets power. Everything is acting normal. So now it's time to go into the software side of things and make sure that you have it properly registered and set up. So you're gonna have to register the cable. Once you have the WiFlash kit in the mail, it comes in a little box like this, little orange box. This is the actual WiFlash kit itself. It's just a small OBD2 tool. This one is the V6. There's a USB-C right there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a USB-C port. The older versions use a micro USB. And it's pretty easy. It plugs right in. It came with the USB cable specifically. And I would advise only use the cable that VF Tuner includes with this. Don't use any other USB Type-C cable. 3, 2, 1. So the way that VF Tuner registers your cable for the WiFlash kit is you send them an email. Let them know that you purchased the WiFlash kit. Make sure in the email and in the subject line, make sure that you include the actual order number. So with your order number, they'll be able to find which serial number your device is tied to, and it's all a cloud-based service. So they on their end will register and license your WiFlash kit, right? And once they do that, and you have the actual VF Tuner software on your computer, it will just recognize a registered device. If you try to plug in a non-registered device, then it will just not connect, basically. It will say that it can't find it, can't connect. But before all that, I also want to say a few things. VF Tuner should always be ran as administrator, and they even tell you that in the installation guide that they send you. So what I did to make sure that, even if I forget, it always gets ran as administrator. If you have a Windows computer, you right-click on the installation file or on the icon, the shortcut, and all you want to do is hit Properties, and then it will bring you to this menu, and you can do a lot here. So we want this program to always run as administrator no matter what. Even if you forget to right click and go to run as admin, even if you double click it, it will just always run as admin. Go to compatibility. And then I already have it checked off, but you're probably not going to have it checked off. Check on run this program as an administrator. Check that. Click apply, then click OK, right? I already did it, so that's why I have that icon there. So no matter what, it always runs as admin, even if I forget to do it. Another thing too, when you are downloading the VF Tuner software and the drivers, because you need both, right? So let me go back to the website. Let me show you. So full screen, resources, right? This is where you get the actual software. Download VF Tuner. Click download, get the VF Tuner WiFlash software, right? Before you hit download, turn off all your firewalls. Turn off Windows Defender entirely. Literally go into your Windows Defender and turn all your firewalls off. Turn all your antivirus protection off. What else? There's other things too, like any kind of security features. You can leave it encryption on, but any other security features, for example, I'll take you to the Windows setting page, right? So Privacy and security, Windows security. So click on this one. Turn all the menus off. Click on the firewall. See, mine. So I need to turn mine back on because they're still off. Click on this one. Turn everything off. Apps and browser control. There's something here that you have to turn off. Reputation-based protection settings. Turn that off. Turn that off. Literally anything that you can in this menu, just turn it off. The only thing that you can leave on is the encryption, but anything else that is within this menu, account protection, don't touch, it's okay. But you see what I have, so virus, firewall, app and browser control, device security, turn everything off before you install this software. Any kind of like hiccup or interference that Windows Defender or any kind of security might play into role with downloading the VF Tuner software. It could corrupt the software. It could add bugs. And you don't want to take the risk, right? 2022 Lexus RCF, super expensive car. So I'd make sure that the software had pretty much no chance of being buggy, right? I make sure that nothing at all from my computer or from Windows Defender would interfere with the installation of the software. I'm very kind of, anal about these things, right? Especially because what you think about what you're doing, you are modifying a very expensive car. You gotta take these precautions. Another thing I will tell you too. So you took the precaution of turning off all of what I just showed you, right? And now you download it. Okay? Before you download it, restart your computer. That way, all the changes that you just made of turning all the security features off sticks. When you restart, I think the antivirus automatically clicks on. But that's the only one because I've checked a few times. So go back into the antivirus portion of the menu only. The real-time monitoring will auto back on. So just turn it back off. Okay. So you've turned everything off. You've restarted your computer. You went back into Windows Defender. Made sure that real-time monitoring and everything else is off. Now you are ready for the download. And just make sure I'm not missing anything because I took several precautions. But I think that's it. So now you're ready for the download. So you download VF Tuner. Most likely you have it going into your downloads file within File Explorer. What you should do is now, after it's finished downloading, it should be like, a 2 gigabyte file. Take a little bit to download. After it's done downloading, transfer that file from the downloads itinerary within File Explorer and put it on the desktop. So the actual VF Tuner installer that you're going to use to install the software, put it on the desktop. Don't leave it in the downloads folder. This is more about those precautions I'm talking about to make sure everything goes smoothly with this install. Okay, it's on your desktop now. Go ahead and double click it. Run the program. If you see Windows Defender try to even interfere, like, this might be harmful, or this, try to reset your computer so you don't have any kind of warnings at all. Because you don't want Windows Defender interrupting at all. Okay, so it's downloaded. Everything went smooth. You got no weird messages, no weird pop-ups, no warnings. Everything kind of just went smooth. Perfect. Now it's on your computer. Do what I told you about always running it as admin, right? So the video's gonna be a little bit misplaced, but just follow me, watch the whole thing, and you'll have a very smooth time doing this. So it's downloaded now. Do I just told you about always setting it to run as admin? So now you have this that shield over there. Now you're pretty much almost good to go. Almost good to go. Um, what you're gonna want to do now, right, is plug this in. Plug this in. So you want to plug it in, but not open VF Tuner, right? So if it's plugged into your computer, you got that that notification noise that something has been plugged into the computer. What you're going to want to do now is going to go into Device Manager. Okay, so just follow me, because trust me, this stuff will save your guys' butts. Not save your butts, but trust me, a peace of mind, and it might save your butt. I'm not gonna plug it in, only because all the USB ports on my computer are currently taken up. So I'm gonna just walk you through this, and it should be fine. You should follow. You can be able to follow along just normally. All right, so we're in Device Manager. Your WiFlash is plugged into your computer. What you're gonna want to do is make sure, it's not gonna populate right now, but make sure when ports, so look for ports. When ports is there, make sure that you see. Now I have to go backwards. Before you do this, you do have to install the drivers, because it won't recognize this without the drivers, right? So skip plugging it in. Make sure you watch this video in its entirety. So skip plugging it in. Kind of go back to where we just left off, as you did the install of the VF Tuner. You made sure all your antivirus was off. You double checked, and you set it to run as admin. So we're right back there, right? Okay. Go back to the VF Tuner homepage. Back to resources. You want to download. Click here, right? Download WiFlash drivers. So I'm not going to download it because I already have it. But download WiFlash drivers, and then download it. Same thing like I said before with the actual VF Tuner installer. Once it's in your downloads folder, move it to your desktop, and then run as admin on the desktop. So right click the drivers, run as admin when it's on your desktop, and then it will finish installing the drivers, right? Same thing when you install VF Tuner. Like when you're actually, here's the installer for VF Tuner. Here's the actual installer. So when you want to install it, make sure you right click it and run as admin, right? And then that's the actual software itself after it's been installed. So you've gotten the VF Tuner software from the website. You've gotten the drivers software from the website. You ran them both as admin. You did the Windows Defender, all of that. Now we're good to go. So back to where I left off. When you have the drivers, now this should be recognizable. That's when you go into Device Manager. That's when you should go under ports. You will see this under ports. It means that that your computer now recognizes the WiFlash kit. Your computer might title it differently, but mine had it titled like silicone something, right? But that's how it was named, and it recognized it. I confirmed that. What you also want to do is go onto your universal serial bus drivers. Let me just open them for you. Was this one? Maybe it wasn't this one. Oh, okay, maybe it was this one because I have a lot of USB stuff plugged in. Yeah, it's definitely it. Okay, so pretty much what you want to do is go into your USB files whenever you have. So just only have your WiFlash plugged in when you're doing this. Don't have anything else plugged into your USBs. when you go down, you'll see like these like USB menus over here. Click on them, right? Highlight them, right click, and click on properties. Click on properties for all of the USB menus that you see. Within properties, you should see something that says like USB power saver mode or USB low power mode. Uncheck that. For every time that you see that within the menu of the USB listings for Device Manager, uncheck power saving mode. I've learned that if your computer puts the USBs to sleep, like let's say if the screen time's out and this is connected and it puts the USB power to sleep for some reason, it's not like an automatic wake up and it reconnects. It will disconnect itself from the VF Tuner software. So you'll have a WiFlash kit that the software recognized it, it's registered, you were able to open it up, and then next thing you know, the screen times out, and then it doesn't recognize it. It's plugged in, or even like let's say you unplug it and you plug it back in, you try to click the software again, it will say like, hey, I don't see a cable, I don't see a WiFlash kit. So these are the extra precautions you have to do to pretty much adapt the WiFlash kit to your computer, so that your computer doesn't like mess with it. Because this is a very specific piece of tech. So the more you can tailor your computer to work with it, the better. If you get what I'm saying. Because otherwise, it's kind of sensitive, and it will do what I just told you. It will recognize it, and then all of a sudden not recognize it. Because I've had that happen a couple times now. So ever since I did that, it hasn't happened. And I also did something else. There's also a USB low power mode somewhere within settings. Where was it? I'm gonna see if I can find it for you guys. It was somewhere here. Yes, right here. So you turn all the USB menus. So any USB menu that you see, literally all of them. Right click, properties, remove low power, like every single one of them. Another thing too that you can do is you can assign like a USB communication language or however you want to say it to the WiFlash kit. So in Device Manager, I think what I did was go to the actual WiFlash kit as it was labeled. So the silicon, whatever. I hit properties on it. And then I pretty much attached COM3, COM3 to the WiFlash kit. So that whenever it's plugged in, it will recognize it as COM3, and then the computer will see it as COM3. Like, it will always see this as COM3. So I can't really explain it technically, but I guess it's a way that when this is plugged into your computer, it automatically recognizes what it is and which USB port it's plugged into. I think I'm saying that correctly. So I took several precautions, so the antivirus shutting down, making sure you install it with all the securities off, and then, going into Device Manager after you have the software and the drivers installed. Go in Device Manager, remove all the low power stuff, because this does not like that. Make sure you can, it's an extra step, so you don't have to really do this, but I made sure to designate a certain, I guess, USB communication specifically for this. So my computer will look for COM3, and this is COM3. Last thing, kind of like a hidden spot where I found USB saving or power saving is go to settings, go to Bluetooth and devices, hit on USB, and then I unchecked it already. USB battery saver. Anything that has to do with USB power saving, low power mode, anything, it will mess with this 100%. So turn all of that stuff off, right? I showed you how to do it in the device manager, and I just showed you how to do it right here, that one little like hidden spot within the settings menu. And I think that's all the places where you can actually, turn off the USB power saving modes. So, I mean, that pretty much is the cleanest like install and cleanest use case with VF Tuner. You ensure that it works with your computer as much as possible. You make it as compatible with your hardware as much as possible. That way, when you're tuning your 60, 70, 90,000, $120,000 car, that this thing doesn't give you issues, your computer doesn't give you issues, they know how to talk to each other, they're always recognizing, the computer now always recognizes this. Before, it would be, you plug it in and it can recognize it, or it won't recognize it. It was just kind of a give or take. Now that I've done these extra steps, every time I plug it in, right? So what I'll do too, I'll plug it in. I won't click on the software immediately. I plug it in. I give it about like 10 Mississippis, and then I click on the software. And so far, it's opened up for me. It's recognized this every single time I've done that so far. So I hope that anyone who's trying to tune their Lexus or an RCF, LC500, IS500, GSF, finds this video helpful. VF Tuner is a very powerful tool. I've already messed with it. I would show you, but right now, like I said, I have all my USB ports on my computer taking up, so I'm not going to plug this in right now. But it's pretty straightforward. Once you actually click over on the software here, you can tell when it recognizes your cable, because it'll take a little bit to start up. Then you will see it loading. It loading is pretty much like checking the software and also connecting to the server. And once that's open, you're pretty much good to go. At that point, VF Tuner you've confirmed that they either have a file or you've sent in your ECU, you've put it back in, you've done all of this software stuff like I just told you to. Now you're ready to plug it into your computer and into your car, and you'll be able to see live data, right? So for me, VF Tuner sent me the stock file for my RCF. I was able to flash the stock file easily. Prepare ECU, and then you would select the calibration. I also would put it on my desktop. I wouldn't leave it in the downloads, so I put the calibration on my desktop. I selected it there. 2022 RCF so it comes under their menu as Toyota Gen 2, and then you flash. The car will act crazy. So my RCF, all the cluster lights and everything was like kind of going off, and a bunch of warnings were flashing. So it was doing something. You could tell it was going through a process. So just don't touch anything. Do not touch a thing while it's doing that. And everything worked well. After it got done flashing, I turned it off. So two press of the button, it's on. So after it's done flashing, I turn the whole thing off. I count to 30 Mississippi. Then, without my foot on the brake, I'm not going to start the car. After I turn it off, 30 Mississippi, double tap again. Let the cluster come alive. Let everything kind of come alive for 30 seconds, right? After 30 Mississippis again, foot on the brake, tap it, and the car started right up for me. So hopefully you have a similar experience. Hopefully, you're successful in getting your ECU unlocked, ready to get tuned. I have my appointment booked with Tune by Loy, so he'll be tuning my RCF. Not looking for a crazy power, but I tracked the car and I want it to be more fun on the street. So this is the whole reason of me wanting to do this in the first place. I hope you found this video informative. There's not too many people I've seen on YouTube who are even talking about VF Tuner, and especially breaking it down like I just broke it down. Um, so yeah, it's a very powerful device for what it is. A little, little itty bitty thing. It's a very powerful device, and when I saw the menu options of what it could read from my car, it can tune the transmission as well, right? So with the VF tuner, not only are you tuning the actual ECU, you're tuning the TCU as well. Um, and a common complaint on the RCFs, since they've been out forever, right? Since what they came out in 2014 or something like that, 2014, 2015, is the transmissions are very sluggish, right? They shift very slow, and even from even my 2022, the only times it shifts like really fast is like fully warmed up in S plus mode. And I mean fully warmed up, because that transmission takes a long time to get up to temperature. So I think with his tune, the most dramatic feel would be in the transmission. I've heard some people say that it turns it into like a sluggish transmission into now something that feels more like a DCT. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm all ready for that. Video is long enough, so I'll cut it off here. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. I'll go over more about VF Tuner. I'm going to be tuning soon. So, yeah, subscribe, follow the videos, and you'll see the progress on the Lexus. All right, take care.